My name is Elijah Cole. I fix elevators for a living. Not glamorous, not fancy, but it puts cereal on the table and lights in the apartment for me and my little girl, Naomi. She's 6. Has more fire in her than most grown-ups I've met. Today was like any other. A call came in from downtown, level 47, stalled elevator, tech malfunction in one of those new AI smart buildings. Everything's connected in that place. Even the coffee machines send data to the cloud. I was already behind on 3 service tickets, but overtime meant dinner wouldn't be just pasta again. So I threw on my cap, kissed Naomi on the forehead, and headed out. The building loomed like a spaceship, all glass and steel. As I badged in through the side entrance, no one noticed me. No one ever really does. Blue coveralls don't exactly blend in with designer suits. I got into elevator shaft Fay 3. The diagnostics said the issue was minor. Just a sensor glitch. Easy fix. I stepped inside to reset it manually. But just before the doors could close, a hand shot out and stopped them. A man in a sharp gray suit walked in. No tie. Just that effortless power look that says, "I sign checks with more zeros than your phone number has digits." I recognized him immediately. Everyone in the city did. Graham Maddox, CEO of Maddox Innovations, the guy who turned a crumbling steel company into a $5 billion smart tech empire. The face on billboards, TED Talks, and Fortune covers. And there we were, just me and him. Trapped. The doors slammed. The lights flickered. And just like that, we weren't going anywhere. For the first few seconds, he didn't say a word. Just glanced at the touchscreen, tapped a few times, and exhaled. System override. He muttered. Must have triggered the failsafe. I moved to the control panel and opened it up. Looks like the building's AI registered a false signal. I can fix it, but it'll take a few minutes. He didn't nod, didn't smile, just stood there with a jaw clenched like concrete. Then silence. Long, awkward silence. I could hear the faint hum of the floor below us, like a sleeping engine. He pulled out his phone. No signal, of course. Thick steel shafts don't care how much net worth you carry. Finally, he looked up at me. "You're Cole, right?" "Elijah." That threw me. I hadn't said my name. "How'd you?" "I saw the service log. You've been fixing our buildings for years." He walked over, leaned against the side wall, and let out a tired breath. "My father used to say, you can tell the soul of a place by the people who keep it running." I gave a half laugh. That's rare. Most folks don't even look us in the eye. His lips twitched like a maybe smile, but it didn't land. A beat passed. Then something changed in him. He turned and looked right at me. "You've got a daughter, right?" That stopped me cold. "Yeah, Naomi." He nodded slowly. "I lost my wife 5 years ago. My son was just about her age then. I raised him alone. Still trying, I guess." The air shifted. 2 strangers, trapped in a glass box between 2 floors, suddenly talking like old friends. He asked what Naomi liked to read. I told him she's into space books and wants to be an astronaut. He smiled for real this time. Then his voice softened. "You ever feel like you're just holding it all together with tape?" I chuckled. "Every day. But duct tape's underrated." He laughed. Actually laughed. We sat down on the floor, the billionaire in a silk suit and the elevator guy in dusty coveralls. Then, out of nowhere, the touchscreen blinked. A warning. The AI system was about to auto-lock every elevator shaft in the building to prevent what it thought was a breach. In 30 seconds, the entire place would be shut down. Hundreds of people, some in critical meetings, others maybe needing help. One glitch, and the whole thing could spiral. Maddox's face changed. "There's a manual reset switch, but it's inside the panel above. Needs 2 hands and an override code. You up for it?" I nodded. "Boost me." He cupped his hands, lifted me like it was nothing. I reached up, yanked open the access hatch, and slid my arm inside. Cables, fuses, the tiny red switch blinking like a warning heart. "Code." I asked. He looked up. 2813. My son's birthday. Click. The lights flickered back. The system rebooted. And with a gentle whir, the elevator doors opened like nothing had happened. We stepped out into a hallway full of quiet. No one had even noticed. I turned to leave, but he stopped me. You ever thought about working on the systems team? Full time, benefits, office, more time with Naomi. I blinked. You serious? He smiled. Dead serious. And just like that, everything changed. I stood there in the hallway, heart pounding louder than the building's HVAC system. I hadn't planned on having a life-changing conversation when I left the apartment that morning. I just wanted to fix the sensor, clock out, and maybe pick up Naomi's favorite cereal on the way home. But now, the Graham Maddox was offering me a job. Not just any job, a real position, inside, on the systems team, with benefits. I hesitated. Look, I said, adjusting my cap, I appreciate it, sir, but I'm not a college guy. I barely got through high school. What I know, I learned with a wrench in one hand and a YouTube video in the other. He didn't blink. Good. That means you know how to solve problems, not just talk about them. Then he reached into his pocket, pulled out a black card, not plastic. Metal, no logo, just a name and a direct number. Call this, tomorrow, ask for Lindsay. Tell her you want to come in. I looked down at the card like it might bite me. And before I could say another word, he turned and walked away. No security, no assistant, just a man with a past and a suit that cost more than my car. I stood there long after the elevator doors shut behind him. That night, I sat across from Naomi in our tiny kitchen. She had sauce on her cheek and a crayon in her hand, coloring a picture of a rocket ship blasting off. Daddy, she asked, did you fix something today? I smiled. Yeah, baby. I think I did. I didn't call the next day. I waited. 2 days, 3. I paced the living room while Naomi slept. Stared at the card on the counter, like it was a lottery ticket I didn't believe I deserved. On the 4th day, my supervisor called, said there was a delay in pay, backlog, said things were tight, again. That night, Naomi asked if we were still going to the Science Museum for her birthday. I looked at the calendar. Just 1 week away. I picked up the card. 2 Maddox HQ looked like something out of a sci-fi movie. Polished marble floors, living walls with real plants, glass elevators that danced up and down the sides of the building like fireflies. At the front desk, I gave the name. Please wait here, Mr. Cole, the receptionist said. He's expecting you. Before I could overthink it, the elevator opened, and there he was again. No suit this time, just a gray sweater, dark jeans, and tired eyes. Glad you came, he said. I followed him through a maze of glass offices and server rooms that hummed like sleeping dragons. He stopped outside a small space on the tech floor, whiteboards, screens, a table with empty coffee mugs. This is where the systems team works, he said. We need someone who understands how these machines behave when they break. Someone who doesn't just read manuals. Someone who feels when something's off. He pointed to a chair. Sit. I sat. He leaned in. Let me be blunt. You're not here because you fixed a sensor. You're here because, when things broke, you didn't panic. You adapted. You led. And because for 15 minutes in a stuck elevator, I felt like I was talking to a better version of myself. Before the suits, before the titles. My throat tightened. I've seen resumes a mile long, he continued. But not one of them could have reset that system like you did. Not just technically, humanly. He stood, held out his hand. Let's build something together. 3 weeks later, I was behind a new desk. Still fixing things, but this time with a badge, a team, and a paycheck that didn't bounce. Naomi got her birthday trip to the museum, and a telescope. She looks through it every night now, pointing at the stars like they're her future. Sometimes she asks me, Daddy, Do elevators go to space? I laugh. Not yet. But maybe someday we'll build one that does. And when I think about that elevator ride, the silence, the glitch, the way two strangers found a moment of truth in a box made of steel and algorithms, I realize something. Some of the biggest systems in the world are held together by the smallest, quietest people. And sometimes, all it takes to change everything is getting stuck in the right place, at the right time, with the right person. So the next time life hits pause, when things stall, or you find yourself stuck in between floors, remember this: sometimes what feels like a breakdown is actually the beginning of a breakthrough. Two men walked into that elevator, a billionaire and a single dad. But the one who brought the building back to life was the man with calloused hands, quiet strength, and a heart full of purpose. Because when kindness leads the way, even a stuck elevator can take you higher. If this story touched your heart, or if even one line stayed with you, tell us in the comments. What part hit you the hardest? We'll be reading and feeling every word with you.